What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. Now, today we're going to be covering part 3 of What If Naruto Was a Genjutsu Master. Now, on part 1, I had asked you guys to give me some Genjutsu ability suggestions, and you guys did not disappoint, but the one that I ended up liking the most was by the user Rapane496. Now, the dude went absolutely crazy and wrote like a 2-page essay on my thing. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about, bro, because I'm almost positive you're listening to this. But I love their idea, but I am going to be putting my own little spin on it just because there was some things that seemed a bit too complicated. But with all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to be shouted out in these videos, make sure you guys drop me ideas for the next part. And when I read the comments and I see something cool, then I will definitely shout you guys out. That said, enjoy.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
We start part 3 off in the perspective of Naruto as he watches as Sasuke pulls up to the arena in his new outfit with the Rock Lee bandages all over his arm, longer hair, and more rugged looking Sasuke. Naruto wonders to himself, what's that all about? As suddenly the proctor would walk up and ask them both if they're ready. Immediately Sasuke nods his head and gives a smile to Naruto, and since this time around they haven't been companions, Naruto doesn't really know too much about Sasuke. Yeah, he's the Uchiha, he's one of the most powerful people here. Naruto is just excited to be facing off against an Uchiha because that means that Naruto can test out his brand new Genjutsu ability that he's going to be putting to the test as soon as this battle starts. The proctor would raise his hand and say, "Hajime!" As immediately, Naruto looks towards the direction of Sasuke, weaves a couple of hand signs, looks at Sasuke and smirks. Sasuke rushes at the direction of Naruto, and it's at that moment that as Sasuke was running in halfway, he would stop and Sasuke would be like all of the air in his lungs disappears. It all goes away. It's almost as if Sasuke was transported to a whole nother plane. Sasuke, in his mind, he wholeheartedly believes that he is now in space, and all of the air in his lungs is gone. Everything. Sasuke is literally like, he has 15 seconds before he just passes out and like probably dies from this jutsu, right? Now, Naruto is using this Genjutsu, and this is something that takes a massive amount of chakra. We're talking like half of his normal supply. So Naruto was actually going crazy when it comes to the Genjutsu because he's been working on this for like a year and a half, and Sasuke was the first one who used it on a Sharingan user, with Sasuke having his Sharingan active, which is supposed to negate Genjutsus, but it doesn't because this one is just that much powerful. And Sasuke is just like, the dude passes out. Immediately, as soon as Sasuke falls to the ground and the proctor states that he lost, Naruto goes over towards the direction of Sasuke and places his hand on Sasuke's forehead, removing the Genjutsu and dispersing the chakra that was in his mind, causing all of that, all of the anomalies inside of Sasuke's brain waves, his body, and everything immediately just disappears. Sasuke finally snaps back into reality, and he would look up as Naruto as, you know, he wakes up in the hospital. This would be a couple of hours later after Rock Lee and Gaara would have, after Neji and Gaara would have fought, which would have actually led to, you know, to Neji losing, because I don't think that Neji would be capable of handling somebody like Gaara. I just think that it's a really, really bad mismatch for Neji, so I think that Gaara is going to ultimately take the win. And when it comes to the final battle at the end of the Chunin exams, Naruto's chakra supply was so low that he just ended up losing to Gaara. Now, what happens once he loses to Gaara? Well, once he loses to Gaara, the signal would be placed, and immediately all of the chaos and destruction that would ensue in the original would pretty much start. Gaara, after being the winner, would rush off with the Sand siblings, and you know, this time around he wouldn't even be partially transformed, but Naruto would actually end up following them, thinking to himself that he has to stop, you know, that guy, and he has to beat him, right? And you know, as they're running away, Naruto would proceed to essentially, you know, like catch up to Kankuro, right? And then suddenly Shino appears. He handles him, and Naruto then finds Temari. He places her her under a subtle Genjutsu, making her think that she's actually fighting against Naruto, when in reality, it was just there to stall her. She finally breaks out of it, and Naruto's already caught up to Gaara. As of this moment, Naruto looks at Gaara and then would proceed to say, "You beat me back there in the exams, but most of my chakra's already been refueled, so it's not going to go the same way this time." One of Naruto's eyes would glow red, as no, it's not some sort of Kekkei Genkai no Genjutsu, it's just the influence of the Nine Tails pouring into Naruto, giving him access to more reserves of chakra, and Naruto would kind of like close his eye suddenly as he opens it, and Gaara would look straight into it with those dead eyes until eventually Naruto would be right in front of Gaara, and Naruto would begin to pummel down on Gaara, who just is powerless. Like, Gaara would begin to just get beat down. Now, this would be a different kind of Genjutsu that would still be just as powerful as the last one, and Naruto would pretty much make Gaara feel weak for the first time in his life. Gaara would burst into tears and pretty much get knocked out as Shukaku would finally unveil himself. And it would be at that moment that Naruto would be put against the wall, seeing as he has to try to put a tail beast under a Genjutsu. He would successfully do it, and Shukaku would enter back inside of the body of Gaara, as Gaara would be the one to take over once again, and Naruto would talk no jutsu Gaara in a bit of a different way, saying to Gaara that he understands his pain as he's a Jinchuriki, but someday soon, he'll change the world with this Genjutsu for all Jinchurikis alike. They'll live in a perfect plane of existence, and he would actually ask Gaara for some help, asking him if he would be willing to join the cause. Gaara this time around would actually end up accepting of Naruto's offer and asking him what exactly the cause is, what it means, what they're going to be doing. And Naruto says, "The cause is for me to know and for you to follow. Just tell me if you're in. All I can say is I promise you the perfect life, a life where nobody looks down on you, a life where nobody's trying to kill you constantly, a life where you can actually live normal, you can have friends, you can be somebody, you won't even have to deal with your tailed beast inside of you. You can completely tame and take over it, use its power to your own whim." And once Gaara hears that, he would immediately think to himself that that sounds awesome, as he would proceed to join Naruto's cause, and eventually the battles between everything on this day would pretty much come to a conclusion as the funeral for Hiruzen happens. He's dead. RIP. Rest in peace. And, we basically just have Naruto going off to search for Tsunade with Jiraiya. Now, this is where things finally begin to get interesting for Naruto, because as of now, the only person who's really been able to put Naruto in his place is Kurenai, right? And Naruto thinks, okay, everyone in the village, everyone else, I could probably get them, but no, Kurenai, she's probably off limits. Naruto's on this journey with Jiraiya, and seeing as he still has the tailed beast, Itachi and Kisame are still looking for him. Water break! Oh my God, let me tell y'all. Water breaks hit the spot. A little bit more. All right, much better. Much better, seriously. But okay, continuing on with the story, what ends up happening following this part is we essentially get to the day where Jiraiya and Naruto find themselves in a hotel. Now, Jiraiya would have been distracted by Itachi because he placed a girl under a Genjutsu to flirt with Jiraiya. And while Jiraiya is busy, kind of getting played for a fool by Itachi because, that girl's not actually interested. She's just under a Genjutsu, right? And Jiraiya would be completely none the wiser of what's happening right now. So this would mean that Itachi and Kisame get more than enough time to go try to find Naruto, ambush him, and try to kidnap him and take him back to the Akatsuki organization. Now they do so, and the scene where Naruto opens the door only to be greeted by Itachi's eyes would still happen just like it does in the original. Except this time around, Naruto jumps back and immediately would think to himself that those two are Akatsuki members, right? When Itachi, when Naruto was with Jiraiya, he would have definitely learned of what the Akatsuki are, what the Akatsuki stand for, and what it is that they're doing. So Naruto is he's not trying to get captured because he knows that his tailed beast will be ripped out of him, and from the books he's read, he'll die. So Naruto's not trying to go with them, right? He tries to get away, understanding that he's not in a good position, seeing as he can't place the Genjutsu on two people. So the best bet and best course of action would be to try to escape. right? He uses a fire style jutsu, or no, a wind style jutsu to blow open a hole in the wall, and he would jump to the top of the building as he would begin trying to make his way towards Jiraiya, trying to signal out for him, but Jiraiya is still none the wiser, and it's at this moment that Kisame would pretty much body flicker in front of him, right? Holding his blade by the sheath and basically saying, "Look, kid, it's not a very lucky day for you. You either surrender and come with me, or we do this the hard way." As Kisame licks his lips and looks down to Naruto with a terrifying expression on his face. Naruto turns back trying to run away once more, and he sees Itachi standing there. As Naruto says, "Whatever, it's life and death now." As he proceeds to try to cast that powerful Genjutsu on Itachi, and Itachi would proceed to stop for a moment and like start coughing blood, as it would be at this moment that Itachi would pretty much counter the Genjutsu that Naruto was using and pretty much end up placing it on himself. So Naruto falls to the ground and loses all of his air in his lungs, but Naruto, being the one who created the jutsu, would know how to break out of it, and he would break out just in time. So he would start coughing the blood out now, and Naruto looks back as Kisame grabs him by the collar and says, "You're coming with us, kid." But suddenly Jiraiya pulls up, right? Jiraiya pulls up, and we see Jiraiya pulling up being like, "Let him go." As it's at this moment that Sasuke would simultaneously arrive and be like, "Itachi!" using his Chidori, trying to cast that ability on Itachi, and Itachi would just I'm sorry to say this, but Itachi's completely catching that Sharingan once more, that Chidori once more, and just absolutely embarrassing his younger brother. I mean, I'm sorry guys, but if you try to fight your older brother, it's not gonna go good. I don't care how big you are or anything, like you're gonna lose every time. But regardless though, what ends up happening here is Naruto would actually like look at Sasuke, trying to fight him, and Naruto would be wondering what he's doing. Like, that guy is dangerous. It's at this moment that he puts two and two together and realizes that's the brother who massacred the Uchiha clan. And Naruto would finally realize how he did it. I mean, the dude is so powerful. He would actually have genuine fear, and for a moment he would be thinking to himself that he's not going to get to live out his dream, right? Until Jiraiya would proceed to essentially say to them that, Naruto needs to back him up. Naruto would be told by Jiraiya if he has one more shot at that Genjutsu. Naruto says yes, and it would be as of this moment that Naruto would place that Genjutsu on Kisame. The last burst of chakra that he has left would be placed on Kisame. Now Kisame would immediately begin losing his breath as well, and it would be at this moment that Itachi would think to himself that it's a good moment to retreat. He would grab Kisame, look at Naruto with his eyes, and then like jump off with Kisame as they begin to make their escape. Now Jiraiya turns back to Sasuke and would ask him how he is, and Sasuke would be terrified because he was just put under the Tsukiyomi while Naruto was placing Kisame under that other Genjutsu, which we're actually going to be calling what should we even call this Genjutsu? Here, let's actually go to the comment section of the video where the guy actually ended up commenting, and let's see what he named it. Let's see if he even gave it a name, because if not, then we're actually gonna have to give it a name. But let's see. Name. Boundless Peace. Boundless Peace. I guess that's the name he went with. So that's what we're gonna be calling it. He would have been placing Kisame under Boundless Peace, a Genjutsu, right? And it would be at this moment that Naruto, Jiraiya, and Sasuke would end up pretty much meeting Might Guy, who would end up arriving in the scene and taking Sasuke back to the village. It would be at this moment that more precedent would arrive for them to actually want to take Tsunade back to the village. And once this happens, things would actually end up being very, very similar to how they were in the original. I'm not really gonna lie, because I mean, obviously we have the scene between Jiraiya and Tsunade where Jiraiya tries to explain to her that they need a Kage, they need her to come back, and she's like, "Nah, I don't really feel like it." But of course we have Naruto, who, really doesn't care too much about being Kage, because again, that's not his goal. So when she disrespects him, he doesn't care. But Jiraiya does end up being the one to come in clutch, and he would be the one to tell her that, she knows deep down she should come back. The village needs her. And, Tsunade would end up just kind of sitting there drinking her pain away as she thinks about who to choose, Jiraiya or Orochimaru. Eventually we have that final battle clash, and Naruto Naruto would end up using Genjutsus to actually defeat Kabuto in battle. Instead of using the Rasengan or the, Boundless Peace Genjutsu, Naruto would actually place a Genjutsu on Kabuto, which would restrict his movement long enough for Naruto to actually come in with a kunai and cut Kabuto up so badly that Kabuto would not be able to be in a fighting condition. Eventually, Orochimaru has to retreat, and this would leave the squad to actually end up returning to the village, where Tsunade would end up healing everybody, and it would be at this moment that Sasuke would wake up. However, this time around, he still thinks that he's the strongest on his squad, right? He still thinks he's stronger than, Sakura. He's definitely stronger than Kiba. So that fight between him and Naruto doesn't go down, and because that doesn't go down, Sasuke's inferiority complex isn't as highly sparked as it would be in the original. However, I do believe that Sasuke, being the person that he is, I think ultimately Sasuke's still gonna end up going with the Sound 4 once he gets a taste of that power, right? Once he sees just how strong he can truly become. Now Sasuke, because he ends up going off with Orochimaru, we would be forced to have a team assembled by Shikamaru to actually retrieve Sasuke, right? Now, because the team would be assembled by Shikamaru, the same people would go and we would have all of the exact same battles, except this time around, Choji dies. Now, I don't know why in the original we had Choji survive. I mean, there was really no real reason for him to. I mean, like, he would have been such a cooler character if he died at that moment. Cue that one weeb, because, he said that. But, yeah, I just think that it would have been such a cool fight if there were actually more stakes and more people got, like, seriously injured. And I also want to change one more thing in this fight. Neji. I think that Neji should die right here. Yeah, I think that Neji should not survive the operation. Why? Because the dude dies in the future to a stick. I'd rather have him die and go out like a G than die right now, you know what I mean? And we're not really going to use Neji in the future of this what if. He's not really going to be prominent whatsoever. So, let's get rid of two birds with one stone. Two characters were taken out completely. And let's continue on with the mission. So Naruto would still be one of the main people who is tasked to go after Sasuke, considering he's probably one of the only people that can beat him, and Naruto would be the one who goes after him, right? Eventually, he would encounter Kimimaro. Now, Naruto thinks to himself that, this guy looks weird, like he looks powerful, right? He tries to create a couple of clones and run past him, but Kimimaro dismantles them. And Naruto would wonder to himself how he's going to get past this guy. Like, the dude is so strong, right? Until eventually he's like, whatever. Like, I can always just use the power of the Nine Tails when I really, really need it. So he would proceed to use Boundless Peace on Kimimaro. And when I tell you that he's actually going to get Boundless Peace, I mean it. Rest in peace. Yeah, the dude's dead because Kimimaro, without no oxygen and that horrible sickness that killed him in like 20 minutes after this, yeah, he's gonna die without oxygen. I'm sorry to say it, guys, but Kimimaro, GG, bro. Like, you were a cool character, but you're still dead. And anyways, after that happens, we would actually end up getting something else that actually would end up going down. Because Rock Lee would end up arriving and see that Naruto took him down, Rock Lee would end up actually going over with Naruto to actually try to fight off Sasuke, right? Now, once they arrive, I don't think that Naruto would kind of like try and talk to Sasuke. I think that Naruto would try to like run over to Sasuke and, try to like place him under a Genjutsu, but Sasuke would punch him in the face and tell him to get out of here with that weak Genjutsu stuff, that he has transcended anything like that, and that he's not the same person that he was back in the Chunin exam. As from here, Sasuke looks to Naruto and says that he's a nobody now, as he would look to him with a Sharingan active, and Naruto would actually try to place Sasuke under a weaker Genjutsu to kind of restrain him, but Sasuke breaks out of it immediately, and Naruto would wonder to himself how in the world he did that, right? And it would be at this moment that Rock Lee would drink some of his sake, and Naruto looks to Lee and tells him that he needs to distract Sasuke for a minute, as Naruto needs at least a minute to charge up this other Genjutsu that he actually has been working, which is actually the Bringer of Darkness technique, a very weak, watered down version of the original, just because we can't have a Genin actually have that, and I don't want Naruto's Genjutsu progression to be that crazy. Actually, not, more of like a mid-level Bringer of Darkness version, right? Which once activated would actually catch Sasuke off guard. Like, his vision is gone. Like, Sasuke is pretty much blinded once Naruto uses the Bringer of Darkness technique, right? And because of this, Rock Lee using his taijutsu would be able to do a ton of damage to Sasuke, until eventually Sasuke would break out of that jutsu by going into his second stage of the curse mark. The wings would arrive and Sasuke's power would quadruple. It would be at this moment that Rock Lee would have no answer to Sasuke's power, and he would be forced to activate the fourth gate. With the fourth gate active, he would slightly be able to keep up, but he would still ultimately be clobbered by Sasuke. And it would be until this point that Naruto would decide that it's about time that he uses that Genjutsu, right? And it would be here that Naruto would whip out one of his most powerful Genjutsus, right? A Genjutsu where Naruto can sort of play God, but it only lasts for 10 seconds in that world. But Naruto can, like do different things to make it like last longer, you know what I mean? But pretty much what ends up happening is Naruto opens his eyes, right? Looks right at Sasuke, and Sasuke looks in the general vicinity of Naruto, right? And that was it. That was all he needed. Naruto from here would proceed to essentially activate said Genjutsu, and Sasuke would be caught up in it inevitably. He would inevitably get caught up in it, right? Now, as soon as that happens, Naruto would be able to pretty much like do anything he wants, right? And it would be at this moment that Naruto, would be able to blitz Sasuke in this Genjutsu world and just completely punch him in the gut and then send him flying with a punch to the face. He would then use a Rasengan in this world because Jiraiya still showed it to him. And, Naruto, using this perfect Rasengan, would be able to clash with Sasuke in that brief time and knock Sasuke out, right? Now, it would have been at this moment that Naruto was about to actually grab Sasuke and bring him back to the village, but it would be here that Naruto, who was pretty much all out of chakra now, looking down at Sasuke, getting ready to just pick him up and drag him back to the village, would then get hit with a weird thing like on the back of the head, and Naruto drops down to the ground, face hitting the mud, as the rain that would be coming down would be pouring hard on Naruto and Lee as they're both down on the ground. And Kabuto grabs Sasuke, smirks, and then says that was payback for what you did to me, as he grabs Sasuke and makes his way towards Orochimaru's base. Only minutes later, Kakashi would arrive and end up grabbing both Naruto and Lee, returning them back to the village, reporting to Tsunade that the mission was a failure.